Hey y'all. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are or where you from. Uh how y'all doing? Shout out to all my workers out there, going to work, leaving work. I almost finished with work. Shout out to you and all the subscribers from day one, day twos, to everybody. And happy birthday to you. Okay, y'all, I know it's kind of early and I know it's kind of late, but I want to get into the testimony of Cordell Wright, the Naziyah Harris case. Y'all remember it was it last week? Hey, baby. Hey, Josh. Y'all remember last week? I think it was last week when we was talking about this man right here in Jarvis Butts. Always the first. You always my man. Uh, yeah, we was talking about Jarvis Butts, and I said that I want to go back, and maybe I misunderstood Jarvis, cause sometimes y'all I can barely hear the testimony. So before I play what I need to play with Jarvis, now everything not Jarvis but Cordell, everything I say is allegedly okay. Now it's good when you have somebody work with you, cause if y'all type and say, oh no, that's not what Cordell said. Cordell said that. Cordell said this. But I can understand because I'm the type of person is if correct me. If I misunderstood something, correct me. If you know Cordell didn't say that, cause you remember y'all, I said that Cordell mentioned something about he didn't have his tether on. So what we're gonna do is maybe I misunderstood, but my notes. Let me read something before we go on with Cordell. Okay, now Cordell said in this testimony right here, doing the defendant test cross, and he said that on February the 13th, he said they picked King up. I remember somebody in the chat said something about why was King locked up. Okay, I'm going to give you that information why King locked up. King testimony is very important to me because the reason why King testimony was important to me because of Naziyah. He saw Naziyah. Okay. Um, Now on February the 13th, um, King was picked up and he mentioned something about Valentine. Uh, he said I spoke with him. I was still on my tether. Okay, so it had to be sometime after. He said he had to speak to. I guess he was talking about Javas afterward. But if I'm wrong, please correct me because I'm the thing with me. I don't. Just correct me, please, because I just want to get it understood. Now, the defendant asked this conversation that I'm reading to y'all is the notes that I've taken about that tether, tether, because it concerns me about that tether that he had on. And I remember somebody in the chat said, "Well, why did Cordell get locked up?" I got all that information. Okay, so he said he had to speak to Jarvis or either the detective. I don't know who he was talking about. He said I spoke with him. I was still on my tether. So it had to be in soon, sometimes afterward. Now, the defendant asked the defendant, the defense attorney, she asked him, was he on theater in February? She said the same thing that I said. Correct if she's wrong. And I was telling y'all, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying to understand this man right here. Because when he's taught, he trying to be smart. So she asked him, was he on the tether in February? He said, correct if she's wrong, but she said, so you had about 3 weeks left on the tether, right? And King said, not 3 weeks in February. Yes, I had 3 weeks left on the tether. I got off actually parole. See how he talking? That's why I was saying, y'all, if y'all understand him and what he trying to split talk, please correct me. That's what he said. Let me go back and read that sheet. The defense attorney asked Big Head right here. She asked him, was he on the tether in February? She said, correct me if she's wrong. King said, because she heard the same thing I said, I heard him say it. And he trying to throw us out because he shook his head like Jarvis trying to get me in trouble. Okay. Jarvis said, she said, but you had about 3 weeks left on your tether, right? And y'all, that's gonna be important because sometimes I think he played a role. Sometimes I think he know more than what he know. Okay, so 3 weeks left on your tether. And King said, not, he put a head in there. He said, not 3 weeks in February. Then he clicked over and said, yes, I had 3 weeks left on the tether. See how he's trying to play games? And then he said, I got off actual parole in May. So the tether was coming off, but you still going to have, that's it. So this is the defense attorney asking him. So his tether post, he said he gonna get off of parole in May. But I'm turning my notes over, y'all, because I had to take notes because I like for y'all to have the right information. If I misunderstood, I misunderstood. But straighten me though. If I misunderstood, just straighten me. I don't mind. So Smart Butt said that actually I'm coming out for parole in May. She didn't ask you nothing about no parole. She asked you about that tether, and you switched it to the parole. So she said, but you're still going to have, let me see what I'm looking at my notes here. Have to, but you were still going to have to respond 3 more months after the theater comes out. See, she like me. I'm concerned about his theater because sometimes them boys, he remind me of, you know who could remind me of, Cordell remind me of, you know, on the Lexus Ware case. What's the name? TJ had that theater on his ankle, but TJ was all up in the club on that theater. That's who he remind me of. So he said, but you were still going to have to respond 3 more months after the theaters come off. And Cordell respond and said, he always take what I got pops up. I'm talking to you, yo. PO. So if anything, he said. So she said that he had to report 3 more months after the theater come out. So Cordell said he always takes. So I don't know why I stopped right there. So if anything pop up, he'll talk to his parole. Cordell was worried about his parole, y'all. Why is he worried about his parole? He ain't did nothing wrong. Why is Cordell worried, y'all? He ain't did nothing wrong, did he? He ain't shot nobody. He ain't did nothing wrong. Only thing he did with the working back. Okay, so Cordell was worried about his parole. That's what he said. The theater statute. Thetis statue. Oh, how much? Hold on, y'all. Let me get these glasses. Y'all remember I broke my glasses. Hold on. So she asked him, what was your understanding, Cordell, if you didn't give certain answers that the police might impact your parole, your theater? See, y'all, that Tether is going to be very important in this case. She asked him a very important question. And he and like he got an attitude. He shook his head. He thought about Jarvis trying to get him in trouble and everything. So she said, what was your understanding if you didn't give certain answers to the police? Would it impact your parole, your theater? And he said, I was already affecting my theater. Now, why is he affecting his theater? You see what I mean, y'all? Jarvis did something. Jarvis in this thing, allegedly. Okay, so he said that, I was already affecting my theater. What? So I wasn't really, concerned how he placed the question. See, he think he's slick. That's why I told y'all, anytime correct me in the chat so I can make sure that it's right. When anytime you want to correct me, I'm not that kind of person. Cordell said he was more concerned by being picked up by the police. Why was this man here so concerned about picked up by the police? That I don't know. He said that he was more concerned he being picked up by the police in a contact is a violation of parole. He violated his parole. So you got to ask yourself, was he involved? If you already know you don't violate your parole, why wouldn't you be involved with what happened to Naziyah? Okay, I'm just saying. Okay. So that's what he was thinking about. He said that he violated his parole. What did he do to violate his parole? Okay. For the police contact, Cordell said he don't believe it impact anything at all, actually. But your parole wasn't actually revoked. That's what the defendant told him. Said, but your parole wasn't actually revoked because he took you to the station. Now, y'all know when people they don't want to go to jail, they'll say anything to keep from going to jail. So they took Cordell in. Why? I don't know. He said he violated his probation. Okay. They took him to the station and interviewed him. She said right, and he said no. Lying self. They did interview you. So she asked him about, Cordell said Tasha came and got an oil change and a headlight. That's when he sneaked. Cordell said he would look for the phone. He said that he didn't want Tasha to know he was looking for the phone. She was going to wonder why he's looking for a phone. Tasha is the baby mama, y'all. So he was being sneaky. See how he's still being sneaky. So he didn't want Tasha to know that he was talking to other girls. Okay. Now, y'all, that theater bothers me. So I had to bring y'all back here because I told y'all, let me find out what did this man say that the theater came off. I maybe got it confused that the theater didn't come out in January. It was probably, I don't know when that theater came out, but I'm going to let y'all hear what he said about that. Now, before I go take y'all to that, I just want to summarize that with y'all Now, another important point in this case with this man right here, Cordell. They asked him, said, have he ever seen any kids at that shop? Now, y'all, we know that he had Shannon got fired from him, right? We know that. Now, when he said, who be at the shop? He said, Cordell said it be his daughter and Naziyah. Then he mentioned his son. What son be at the shop with them girls? Ask that question. I want to stick that up in y'all mind, okay? It can't be sharing the little boys. It can't be sharing the little kids at that shop. It got to be an older teenager boy or somebody, or his older son, or some kind of boy older at that shop, allegedly. I don't think he'll have no baby up there clean up that shop. I would say that, because when Cordell said that two girls be up there, his niece, his daughter, and his son. And the first thing came to my mind was, I looked at Shannon children, and I know he didn't have them babies up there, them elementary school children up there cleaning up no oily shop. I know he didn't have them, but so was it an older boy? Was it his older son up there? Who is his son that was at that shop? That's what I want to know. That bothered me with Cordell testimony. Now, they asked him how often do he see them. He says sporadic. Now, y'all, the Suburban was a 71 Suburban that he was in the girlfriend car trying to find things. Now, his testimony had me so confused. Now, also, before I forget, the defense attorney, I am so concerned, y'all, that pink outfit. Let me tell y'all something. I don't think Alexis, golly, I'm thinking about Alexis where I don't think Naziyah had that pink outfit on. I really don't, y'all. Now, let me read y'all my notes, what I took and about that. Because I'm on this case, and I know it's going to be some important people come up on that stand. Now, that pink jumpsuit that we saw, I don't think she had that pink jumpsuit on while she was in that car with Cordell, because he didn't say nothing about it. So anyway, y'all, that pink jumpsuit, the defendant said they took a lot of swabs on that jumpsuit. The investigator Anderson testified to that it was 24 trillion times more likely to originate it from two unrelated, unknown contributors. Y'all hear what I said? You know, when they was investigator was talking about that forensic, was talking about that pink outfit that somebody laid out there on that wood, trying to play mind games with somebody. Okay. Said that pink jumpsuit, they took a lot of swabs. And the investigator Anderson testified to it was 24 trillion times more likely to originate it from two unrelated, unknown contributors than Jarvis Butts. I told y'all, you know what? I ain't gonna get this case away. I already told y'all some girls in this, some gals in this, and they young too. The gals and boys. It's a whole lot of people in this thing right now. Job, y'all gonna fool around here, and Job gonna be walking them streets. He gonna do that little time that y'all think that they gonna leave him in jail forever, and he gonna get out of jail. If y'all don't get this show on the road, if y'all don't get this show right, Jarvis can win this. Because Jarvis, they said that Jarvis, that two unrelated, unknown contributors. But guess what? Not Jarvis Butts, though. Now, I'm going to tell you something about the investigators before I let her hear about the Tether Now, the investigators half did the job. When the new people came in, everything I say is allegedly. But when the new people came in, the new detective and the people who covered the case, they didn't have enough information to cover the case. The same way they doing over there in what's the name, Kate? What the boy name? Anyway, when they switch up and everybody retire and they leave, they need to let these people stay on these cases. So these are new detectives going to get the information that they have. Now that investigator who was on that stand, she said she had 20 executive search. But let me tell you something about that detective. She didn't name 20 executive searches. She only named 4 searches. She bit her tongue because she knows she didn't do 20. She named one. She said I did one search, all kinds of different location. Bucks mentioned to them. They went to the township that Bucks and ex-girlfriend used to live, and Java wasn't at work on the 10th. All that little boo boo blah blah. Now, only thing I want to do right here, y'all, and y'all tell me what they said. I found the part I know right now we've been talking about that theater because that theater is bothering me with this big head, with big head. So tell me what he said about the theater in the comment when you get a chance. You don't have to do it now, but when you get a chance, please correct it for me, okay? So I can get some understanding. Okay, here we go.
She came up there, but no, I wasn't successful. It wasn't there. Wasn't there? Okay. We said she. Tasha. Who's Tasha that you know of? His baby mom. Okay. Did you look for it in the vehicle? Yeah, I looked for it. Okay. And you were unsuccessful in finding it? Yes. And Mr. I want to talk to you now about the second time that you were speaking with Detroit police. That he heard that it was just a couple days after your first time. It was not long, a few weeks maybe. I was off Tether at that point, I believe.
Okay, right there. Hold up, y'all. Hold up, golly. I hit the thing. I'm sorry, y'all. He mentioned that about that theater. What he say? Hold on. Let me take it back. I went too far. I'm sorry.
Some kind of altercation.
Hold on.
After.
Hold on. Here you go. Right here. I think it's.
Based on those conversations, that Mr. Buck was not in the shop with him. I don't think that's leading. It's stating a conclusion.
Hold up, y'all. I think I was right. Nah. Hold on. Did I go that far? Oh, Lord. Hold on, y'all. I probably went too far. Hold on. I hate when I do this. And I found it for y'all. Okay.
Have all of your parts on stock. Pick up his keys. Back to the shop. Okay, that's it.
No, that ain't it. Hold on, guys. Here we go. 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 Right here. Right here. Right here. Let listen to what he said about the theater.
Tasha. Who's Tasha that you know of? His baby mom. Okay. Did you look for it in the vehicle? Yeah, I looked for it. Okay. And you were unsuccessful in finding it? Yes. And Mr. I want to talk to you now about the second time that you were speaking with Detroit police.
That in time that you was speaking. Now, she said that she wanted to talk to him when he was speaking to the police. Okay. That was a couple of days after your first. When he spoke to the police, so that was late uh in May. Then he must been in that they picked him up on the 13th. So let me see some. Up in later on. That's what he talking about. She said the police that was just a couple of days after. Let me see. Let me go back right here again. Let me go back right here.
Okay. Did you look for it in the vehicle? Yeah, I looked for it. Okay. You were unsuccessful in finding it? Yes. And Mr. I want to talk to you now about the second time that you were speaking with Detroit police. Was it the third, that was just a couple days after your first time? It was not long, a few weeks maybe. I was off Tether at that point, I believe.
Oh, that's what he talking about, y'all. I got it wrong. He said that the second time that he spoke with the investigator, he said it was not long, a few weeks, maybe was off the tether at that point. So he was still on the tether uh in February. Cause remember the defense said she asked him was he on the tether in February. Correct if the wrong, but you had about 3 weeks left on the tether. So yes, I had 3 weeks left on the tether. I got off actual parole in May. So now right here, this is where I got the confusion, misunderstanding. So I'm coming back and I'm correcting myself. And I look for this video and it right here. This is what she asked him to throw me off. The second time when he spoke to the police, the Detroit police, he said that it was not long, few weeks. Maybe I was off the tether at the point, I believe.
And do you recall talking about fixing a red Jaguar and going to Ypsilanti? Yes, I do. Tell me about how many times did you and Mr. Bucks go to Ypsilanti? I believe it was either 2 or 3. Alright. And how did that cook out? Whose red Jaguar is this? My son's grandma. So she called, said she was having some problems with it and asked if we would come look at it, which is not unusual. We do house calls depending on the person and where it's located, but this is my son's grandma, so of course we're going to make the exception. She called and said she was having problems with the car, asked us to come look at it. Went and assessed the car at her house the first time. I think we made a minor repair there, not to the extent that it was the problem that she was having after the fact. Okay. So, where Red Jaguar is located when you guys go out to see it? It's at my son's grandma's driveway in Ypsilanti, off Michigan Avenue. Alright. And, who goes with you out there that first time? Jarvis. Okay. It's just you and, Jarvis Bucks? Yes. Okay. So you guys go out there and you assess, make a minor repair. Yeah. Does it completely fix the car? For that problem, yes. Okay. And is there another time that you end up having to do work on this Red Jaguar? Yes. Okay, tell me about that. She drove the Jaguar for a while. It was doing fine. Then she said it was leaking something. I asked her what it was leaking. She said she didn't know. I asked her if she could get it towed to the shop. She said, yeah. So that your shop at 9,000 Connor? Yes. Okay. And who works on it at 9,000 Connor? Me and Jarvis. Okay. And what do you do when you finish fixing? Do you ever fixing the Red Jaguar? Yes. Okay. And what do you do when you finish fixing it? We take it back to her. I called her first and asked her how she was planning on retrieving the vehicle. She said she was going to tow it and I didn't want to cost her no more money, so I told her that we can bring it. Okay. And do you recall if that was on or about January 9th?
Okay, y'all, look. I'm gonna tell y'all something, y'all. And it's gonna come up in court. It's the reason why she's speaking on that Jaguar. Okay? It's the reason why she's speaking on, she's very interested in the time and the location, and she's sticking on that, prosecutor is sticking on that Jaguar. Okay? Now, the reason why I said that is because that's the day Naziyah went missing. Why they working on that particular car? What's going on mentally? Cordell no. Cordell no. Cordell no. The king.
Before you take, tell me about how that day started for you. I woke up. I typically leave the house at 6 because that's the time I could leave. So I went to the gym. I got to the shop probably around 8:30. I don't know who opened the shop. I can't really recall which one of us opened it, but Jarvis may have been there already. Uh, a few cars came in. Then the Jaguar probably got there maybe around 9 o'clock. I assessed the Jaguar. Jarvis left a moment. I had another mechanic. It's a foreign car, so I had a foreign car mechanic on call to help with the work, but he was busy, so he came. Said he wouldn't have time to do it, so I think I Googled it, seen how it was done, and I proceeded taking the water pump off. Okay. About that work that day? Yes, he was there. Okay. What do you guys being you and Mr. Butts, do as it relates to work on the night? I think we had a few cars that came in that needed some minor repairs. Between that and the Jaguar, we was jumping in and out of the Jaguar job, and the cars that could pull it up, maybe oil change, tune up, whatever, etc. So forth was. But we was mainly working on the Jaguar, trying to get the water pump off, as it is a hard job to do. Okay. And do you always have all of your parts on stock or on your person in stock with you? No, we call either AutoZone, Mansfield, the auto stores that have them. Okay. And did you have to go get any auto parts on January 9th? Yes, we had to go get the water pump for the Jaguar, as well as some other parts, I believe, for other cars. Okay. And when you go and get parts, is it usually just one of you, both of you, or something else? That depends. If it's a car there, then one of us will stay. If it's not a car there, we can go together sometimes. Okay. And on January 9th of 2024, did you guys, did one of you guys go to the auto parts store, or did you both go? We both went. Both went? Okay. Tell me what happens when you go to the auto parts store. Before that, I called them. They ordered the.
I can't. Only thing I can't understand about that, y'all. Why did both of them? They mechanics. Why did it take both of them to go and Cordell said they had so many cars to work on. People were coming in for oil changes and everything. They the bid, that's their shop. Why did both of them have, well, I never seen no mechanic do that. Why they got to follow each other like Snoop Dogg, snipping on behind each other? Jesus.
Water pump, so we went and picked it up when they called and said it was in. We got in the truck, went to AutoZone, got the water pump. On our way back from AutoZone, I believe we forgot something, so we ended up turning back around, going back to AutoZone.
What did y'all forget at the AutoZone, Cordell? Tell the truth. Because this is when he gonna see Naziyah, y'all. Come on now. Did they really leave something back there at AutoZone? Jarvis saw her. And he know he had to go back and I forgot I gotta pick up Naziyah in my brain. You know what I mean? I don't think he really left nothing and grabbed nothing at that AutoZone after he left that AutoZone. Well, they supposed to be mechanics. They supposed to be educated. I think that he wanted to go back because he know he forgot to pick up Naziyah.
We forgot, we came back. And on our way back, see my niece right there. She walking.
See?
Going into Angel's liquor store. I still didn't see her when her across my face. Said she right there. She was coming across the street at that time. She got in the truck with us. She spoke. I came, IJ, and we proceeded back to the shop.
Okay. So, when you guys are driving to these auto parts stores, who's driving?
Jarvis.
Okay, and where?
Passengers.
Okay. And you said when you guys are heading back to the shop the second time, that's when you said Jarvis spots someone?
Yes.
Who does he say that he spots?
His niece.
His niece, okay. And you recognize his niece?
Yes, when I see her, when he pointed her out to me, yes, I recognize her walking across the street.
Okay.
Okay, y'all. I just want to bring y'all in this morning because I want to make a correction. I want to correct myself because when y'all talk to me, then that's when I know something. But if anytime with this case right here, and I misunderstood, I don't want to give the misinformation, but I would like for you all to tell me what I heard. So I came back in here to straighten out the information that I thought he did mention. Said that's when the tether came off, but the tether came out I think in May and not during February when this happened, y'all. So I just want to come in here and correct that. But he did say he took that when the tether came out, but the tether didn't come out during the time that I was talking about. It was still on him in February, around February the 13th, because that's why the defense went and asked him questions about that tether, because the information that he was giving to the prosecution. See, you got to remember that is the Cordell belongs to the prosecution team. Okay. So I just wanted to come in here and bring that back up. So now we know that he had 3 weeks left on the tether, and he said the tether did come off 3 weeks after, not before this happened to Naziyah. And y'all remember he said he always late. Now I don't understand with them tethers. I see why these young boys be cutting it off their ankle. They can do what they want to do. That's y'all remember Alexis Ware case? TJ was everywhere. At the bar, across the street, around the corner. He was everywhere. TJ was Alexis Ware boyfriend. Now this man right here got a tether on. He all in the gym. He late for work. He doing what he want to do. I don't know how important those tethers are. So I just want to come up here and clear some things that Jarvis said. Not Jarvis, I apologize. We know who this big head fella is. This is Cordell, better known as the King. So he did have the tether on, y'all. He didn't take the tether out. The tether didn't come out in February. It came out in May, allegedly. That's what he said. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. I just had to come in here and recap and let y'all know that when I said I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. So I went back and I did my research about y'all back right here. I love y'all. Thanks for watching.